Hey there everyone, really happy to share with you another short training video. And look, today's topic is one that I'm red hot on at the moment, and it's really this idea about the 4 levels of value. So I want to put it out there first of all. I came across this through listening to a podcast. So it was something which really resonated with me in terms of thinking about how can we build a real customer connection through looking at the value that we're providing to our customers. And what I've also done though is I think I've taken it a little bit further, because I made a connection between how you can offer different levels of value, and importantly in terms of what that does to your trust and connection, and what it does or what it means in terms of time spent. So let me introduce you to it. So this is the way I'm going to explain it. So the first thing is, I'd like you to think here that one of the things that we want to do as suppliers is we want to start to build the trust and connection with all of our customers. So this is your vertical axis up here. But the reality is that in any customer-supplier relationship, you don't have that trust and connection at the level that you want immediately. So there's the bottom axis here is really about the time spent. Okay, so that's the framework that we're going to be using for today. Now, distinction I want to make is that I'm going to use a particular word for level 1 value, but it also applies to people that think of themselves as being in a service industry, because I'd like you to think of each service that you provide, how it can turn into one of these, how you could package it this way. So level 1 value is this. It's your product. It's the level of value that your product brings. So the first thing we need to do here is think about, well, is my product the best on market? What makes up my product? How does my product compare to others? And it's really trying to do everything you can to understand your product that you have, that you offer to your customers, and really making sure that it's got all the quality controls, everything around it makes it best in market. And that's the language I'll be using for this little video, is best in market. Now I'm going to give you a little example. So as you know, Synergen Group, one of the things we do offer, one of the products we offer, is a certificate in leadership and management. Depending on how you look at it, you could say I've got over 500 competitors, because if you look at one of the government websites, it says, you know, there's over 500 organisations which offer this product. I don't view it like that, because a lot of them aren't operating the way we operate. But one thing I do know is that for the ones that I've come across a bit that do operate like us, I've got a little bit of a sense about what their product is like. And so I'm quite comfortable putting out there that I believe our product is the best on market. And I'm not just looking at it from a price point of view, I'm looking at it from a content point of view, from a duration point of view, from all these different angles. I do believe that our product is best in market. And one of the things we often do is we take time here to think about how do we make sure that we continue to make sure it's the best product in market. Okay, so think about your service, turn it into a product, and think about what sort of level of value are you offering here. But the second level of value is about the experience. So this is where you've got a really good product. This is where your customers come in, and what's the experience that wraps around this product? So it could be that when someone rings up to your office, what sort of experience do they have with your customer service team? It could be that in your billing cycles, what sort of experience do they have there? What sort of experience do they have if you have multiple people in your organisation who have an interaction with your customers? What sort of experience do they have there? So it's really about making sure that once you've got your product right, you've got to have the experience right as well. You've got to make sure that you're easy to do business with. You've got to make sure that you're credible. All of those things come into place here. But the reality is your customers are really only interested in one thing, isn't it? And it's this one. It's this idea of the result. What result are they going to get? What result are they going to get as they go through the experience which is associated with your product? So what does it deliver? What's the outcome that they're going to get? So put it into context for you, and I'll go back to the product I used here as an example, Cert 4 in Leadership and Management. So when we do programs like that, we view it that we have two distinct customer categories. The first is obviously the business that we're working with that's engaged us to deliver the training, but the second is also the students or the people going through the program. So one of the results that the students get that's very tangible, very easy to identify, is did they achieve the qualification or not? So for us, that's a good result. Now we know that our average for completion rates is sitting roughly around the 83%. Now that far outweighs industry standard, far outweighs online averages. So we know that's one of the results for the student. Now, the employer, the business that's engaged us, they think they're interested in that too, but they also want something more than that. So they want to see a change in leadership behaviours. They want to see whether or not their leaders are able to have a difficult conversation. They want to know whether their leaders are able to articulate the vision, value, the purpose, the mission, all of those things. They want to know what sort of communication are their leaders doing. They're the results that our businesses, clients are looking for. Now, I want to draw you back down to here. You think about this, that you have time spent here and you're starting to get the results for your customers. What is that doing for your trust and connection with your customers? Well, there's only one answer, and the answer is that it's deepening that trust and connection. It's building it, it's strengthening it. It's taking it to a level which you don't have down here and you don't have down here, because you're able to prove that you can get the results that you say you are. But then, one more level. And I think this is a level where we should be aiming to play. And it's this idea of being the strategic partner. It's this idea that we are more than just a service provider, that we are more than just a customer. Because after having time spent and after building a lot of deep connection and trust, we're starting to see things. We're starting to be able to offer insights. We're starting to be able to share things with our customers that we normally wouldn't be able to share. This is where your customers are looking for something more from you. And remember, this is not from your perspective, this is from their perspective. You might say, yeah, I'm a strategic partner, but do your customers really view you that way? Only time will tell. And so what we start to do here is build a product, make sure the experience around it is first rate, make sure you're delivering the results that the customer's actually looking for. And then what are you doing here? Are you going to your customers and you telling them something they don't know? Are you sharing with them something they need to be thinking about in their marketplace? What are the things you're doing to demonstrate that you're looking at things, looking at the customer-supplier relationship through a strategic lens? It's a really, really, really fantastic framework. I wish I could say that I fully came up with it myself, but I didn't. It's sort of a bit of a hybrid. But I do think that if we can start to look at each level of value, make the relation between the time spent and the trust and connection, then you're going to be in a really good position. So here's your homework from this short training video. Go back to your office, go back to your depot, go back to wherever you're from, and start evaluating each of these three. Start here. What's your product? What's your product? What sort of experience have you wrapped around it? What sort of results are you able to get? Once you've done that, once you start thinking about how can you improve, how can you do more for your customers in this way. Once you've got a handle on that and you're completely confident that where you sit in each of these, I want you to be thinking about the strategic value that you can offer. What strategic value can you offer as their strategic partner? So I hope this little 4-level value framework was useful for you. Once again, we'd love to hear what you think about it. And if you want to know anything more about it, feel free to email me or hit me up on LinkedIn. Happy to talk to you more about it. So bye for now and enjoy.